GembaPro, which is the next company up. It's the interactive training platform for mining and construction workers. This closes a 500 billion blue-collar productivity gap. So lots to go for. Now, Ando is the founder and CEO, and he'll be putting his slides up now just to move forward with this one. So GembaPro. Ando, do we have you online?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Just give me a second while I'm sharing my screen. It should be up in a second. Let me know if it's there. It looks like it is.
That's perfect. Take it away.
Grant. So yes, hello, everyone. My name is Ando. I'm the CEO and founder of GembaPro. We are an alchemist and exploration capital-backed company that is building an interactive training platform for blue-collar workers in heavy industries, such as mining and construction. And the problem we were solving is that these industries are currently suffering from a massive skill gap that exists due to the fact that majority of maintenance and operators are not exactly college-educated specialists, but people who finished high school, went to work in the field, and it is on the company's shoulders to train them and get them competent. But again, they're not exactly doing the best job because they're relying on a very outdated training methods like standard operating procedure manuals or PowerPoint presentations that don't really capture the attention of people. So as a result, they have half-baked competencies, and people make mistakes, break the equipment, stop the production. There are health and safety accidents. And on average, the mining company loses $140 million a year in lost productivity due to that. But if we're talking about the industry as a whole, according to Deloitte, it ramps up to $500 billion a year in the US alone. So this is the problem that we're solving, and we're helping maintenance and equipment operators to gain the complete skill set on how to well operate and maintain heavy pieces of mobile equipment like trucks, drills, etc. And the secret sauce here is that we're doing it in a really interactive fashion, allowing people to train by interacting with a 3D model, by passing small challenges and small visually rich lessons that actually gather attention, grab attention, and help people build skills, which ultimately reduces downtime and produces 5 to 7 million in downtime savings and extra productivity to an average client in the mining industry. And look, if we're talking about blue-collar workers, there are more than 170 million in the world. But if we're talking about the market that we're currently working with, mining industry, there are over 2.5 million equipment operators working in the space, and with average expenditures of roughly 12 to 1300 per employee, we're looking at a $3.5 billion market. Now, if we're talking about the longer vision, we intend to grow into construction, forestry, and oil and gas, which is already a $40 billion market opportunity. And we already have some progress. We have our first pilot client with 35K in ARR going live in 2 weeks. We also have 3 letters of intent to be seized into contracts by the end of the year and to grow to 110K. And for the next year, we have a pipeline of 17 companies with an overall value of $1.2 million to be basically seized and to grow with. And our current customer is not just any company, it's the 15th largest mining company in the world, Norsk Nickel. And right now we're training roughly 10% of their employees, and the 2-year plan basically is to grow this contract tenfold to 350K. Now, if we're talking about the team, we have a pretty extensive experience in mining and construction through years of working in McKinsey and BCG, and our CTO has a very deep understanding of the edtech industry, and he authored our 3D engine, the backbone of our tech that makes our learning really interactive. Now, in terms of the current plans, we're raising 750K in our pre-seed. We're roughly halfway there, having raised 220K and committed another 100. And the goal for that raise is to grow our customer base to 6 enterprise contracts within the next year and build 3 success cases, ROI cases, that we will use to further scale and accelerate our sales process in that industry. So that's us in 3 minutes. If you're interested to talk more and be a part of the journey, happy to chat.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ando. Looks fantastic. We've got a couple of questions coming up. I'm just going to read these out. So Natasha, you are on here. Natasha's part of our team, and she's just joining at the moment. So how do you deal with the risk of having the first client from a country that is under sanctions?
That is a great question. And this is something that we had to think about very, very extensively. Ultimately, we made the decision to work with that customer, and that's the only one from Russia that we decided to move forward with. The rest of them we have dropped. Norilsk Nickel we decided to work with for the reason that they are, as a company, are not sanctioned, and with the amount of nickel they're producing, we're talking 20% of the global supply, they are in the risk-free zone. Apart from that, we're completely shifted our focus to the US, Canada, and Australia. And as you can see from the pipeline and from the customers that we have signed LOIs with, those are precisely Canadian and Australian companies.
Fantastic. So we have an anonymous question. How long is the typical sales cycle and who is the main buyer profile?
Right. So the typical sales cycle ranges between 5 to 7 months, and the profiles of the buyers are twofold. Those either would be innovations departments within the mining companies, or those would be operations departments. Now, you might ask, why not learning and development? Well, because learning and development normally is responsible for execution, but the guys who actually have a headache in terms of the productivity numbers and the lost time are operations. Hence, they are the primarily buying persona.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much for presenting. It's come across really well. By the way, we will be sending out all of these presentations to everyone, so you will be able to get the contact details and sync up and have meetings to go into more detail with any of these presenters later on. So thank you so much. Next up, we